Mr. President, before we start, can we see if anybody would like to do an open prayer before we start the meeting?
Sure. Yeah, we did not receive any notice from a specific pastor asking to do that, so we can, according to our policy, before we start the meeting, we can, if anyone wants to open us in prayer, we can do that. Anybody in particular? Okay. If you just come up to the mic, and if we just ask everybody stand. If you would like to participate in the prayer, there's no requirement that you have to, but if you'd like to participate in the prayer, just please stand. Yes, sir.
Lord, thank you for allowing us to gather here today, and we ask that you guide us and lead these men and women to do your will, Lord. And if you are gathered, I know you'll be, and thank you for everything that you do, and forgive us for all we do. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Mr. Piazza, for that reminder. That's a new policy, so we're going to all have to get used to it. All right, we'll call this meeting of the Tangible Parish School Board to order this Tuesday, February the 6th of 2024. Ms. Jenkins, if you would, please call the roll.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Ms. Abrams? Mr. Piazza?
Here.
Ms. Richards?
Present.
Mr. Anthony?
Here.
Mr. Duncan?
Here.
Mr. Tola?
Here.
Mr. Westmoreland?
Right.
Ms. Dominguez?
All right, if you would, everyone, please, before we're going to, Miss Eliana Soli, right? Michaela Soli has offered to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and will also sing the national anthem for us. I believe our flag is right here. Michaela. Is that mic working?
Yes.
Yep, okay. We're going to do the pledge first.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Michaela, thank you for that. Hey, Michaela, one question for you. Go.
That was beautiful.
I love to hear the national anthem done well. You did a great job with it, but don't you sing pretty regularly at your church? So if we wanted to hear you sing more often, where would we go find you?
Faith Apostolic Church.
All right, thank you for being here and doing that.
That was beautiful.
Mr. Kyles, did you have want to do any greeting or bring anything to the board's attention while we have you here? It's your stage, so you got to.
Dang. Put 'em on the
You,
spot.
you have unlimited general public input, you know, so.
Thank you for hosting us
Thank you
Yes.
again, Mr. Kyles.
Just want to, sorry, I apologize.
He's got those
Just want to take the time to, I guess, formally welcome everyone to the campus. We're just so excited to be able to host this meeting tonight. When I was first contacted by Ms. Jenkins, I was like, they want to do what? So like, how are we gonna make it happen? But I think it's been a very enlightening process for us. The setup that you see today was organized by students and Ms. Costanza, so they had some input in this layout. As you see, we have multiple sound equipment that they went to go find today just to make sure that if something may have gone awry, that they have a backup to try to facilitate it. So we just welcome you guys here. To the guests who are here that are part of the Hammond community, we thank you for being active stakeholders, and we just welcome you any other time that you may want to come here. It doesn't have to be for a meeting. Just pop in the office, let us know you're here, and the campus is yours to roam just to see a lot of the great things that we have going on here. But again, we're just blessed to be able to host you guys tonight, and we hope that the arrangements were suitable to help you conduct your business on this evening.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kyles, and thank you. Thank you to everybody that helped set everything up and get all of this done. All right, first item on the agenda is to consider approval of our board minutes from the January 9th, 2024 meeting. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes as approved, made by Mr. Toller, seconded by Mr. Piazza? There being no discussion, we'll ask members to vote. We'll call the question and ask members to vote your devices.
Voting is open.
Vote yes.
Voting is closed. Motion passes unanimously.
Next item on the agenda is to consider approval of the board minutes from our meeting of February the 2nd, 2024. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Motion is made by Mr. Piazza, seconded by Mr. Westmoreland. Hearing no discussion, we'll call the question and ask members to vote your devices.
Voting is open.
Vote is yes.
Voting is closed. Motion passes unanimously.
All right, next item on the agenda, is Mr. Tommy Hesberg going to present this, or is?
Yes.
Mr. Hesberg is here. All right, we have 3 items on the agenda, all having to do with the formal approval of our election results for the Hammond Magnet Tax. Mr. Hesberg is our attorney from Butler Snow to explain what it is we're going to be voting on. And I know the first is to consider the resolution providing for the canvassing of returns and declaring the results of our special election, which was held on November the 18th of 2023. Specifically recognizing that we won, and won by a resounding majority thanks to the wonderful community of Hammond. Is that right?
That is accurate.
All right,
Hello, just hold it down for a second.
Hello.
there we go.
My name is Juan Moreno, and I'm with Butler Snow. Tommy couldn't make it, so I'm
Okay.
the associate, so I'm here. So yes, it's a resolution providing for canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the November 18th election. A special election held in Consolidated School District Number 1 of Tangible Parish, Louisiana, the district, on Saturday, November 18, 2023, to authorize the renewal of the levy and collection of a 15 mills ad valorem tax on all property subject to taxation within the district for a period of 10 years, beginning with the year 2024, ending with the year 2033, and providing for other matters other matters in connection therewith. And I guess moving on.
Well, we'll do this one first.
I just wanted to announce the votes on
Oh,
that.
yes, go ahead.
So we have it on public record. It was 2,664 votes in favor of the proposition and a total of 1,562 votes against the proposition. So obviously, in favor of the proposition.
All right, and do we, is this one of those where we have to do a voice vote, or is there any special, I know sometimes there's special requirements on how we vote on these things.
I believe just regular voting is
Okay.
is accurate.
And is there anything else that we have to read into the record that hasn't already been read into the record?
Not for this one yet, no.
Okay. All right, so is there a motion to approve the resolution as presented? Motion is made by Mr. Anthony, seconded by Mr. Westmoreland. Are there any questions from the board on the resolution? Any discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, we'll call the question and ask members to vote your devices.
Voting is open.
Vote is yes.
Voting is closed. Motion passes unanimously.
All right, next item on the agenda is to consider approval of the process verbal of the canvass of votes cast at the election held for the Consolidated School District on November the 18th, 2023.
And again, this is related to that aforementioned canvassing of the elections. This is a pro se verbal. I'm going to read the proposition here into the record. And it's shall Consolidated School District Number 1, Tangipahoa Parish, Louisiana, the district, be authorized to renew the levy and collection of a special tax of 15 mills on all property subject to taxation within the district. An estimated $4,351,729 is reasonably expected at this time to be collected from the levy of the tax for an entire year for a period of 10 years, beginning with the year 2024 and ending with the year 2033, for the exclusive purpose of providing additional funds for operating, maintaining, and equipping in K through 12 Hammond schools, accelerated classes, visual and performing arts programs, international baccalaureate programs, Montessori education, communication magnet programs, STEM extended day, and/or other educational enhancement programs, and paying salaries and benefits of teachers and other public school personnel that are necessary to maintain and/or further implement such programs.
Does this one require a voice vote, or is
It's the same.
all right, so the motion was made by Mr. Anthony, or do we have a motion? All right, is there a motion to approve the process verbal? Motion is made by Mr. Westmoreland, seconded by Mr. Anthony. Any discussion on the motion? There's been no public input requested on the motion. We'll call the question. Ask members to vote your devices.
Voting is open.
Vote is yes.
Voting is closed. Motion passes unanimously.
All right. And finally, because I guess the legislature likes repetition, the third time, we are going to consider approval of a resolution directing the renewal of the levy and collection of the 15 mil tax in accordance with the results of the election.
And I will read the resolution here into the record. It's a resolution directing the renewal of the levy and collection of a 15 mills ad valorem tax on all property subject to taxation within Consolidated School District Number 1 of Tangipahoa Parish, Louisiana, the district, for a period of 10 years, beginning with the year 2024, ending with the year 2033, for the exclusive purpose of operating, maintaining, and equipping in K through 12 Hammond schools, accelerated classes, visual and performing art programs, international baccalaureate programs, Montessori education, communication magnet programs, STEM extended day, and/or other educational enhancement programs, and paying salaries and benefits of teachers and other public school personnel that are necessary to maintain and or further implement such programs and providing further matters in connection therewith.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Motion is made by Mr. Piazza, seconded by Mr. Westmoreland. Is there any discussion on the resolution? There's no public input. Again, any special rules on how we vote on this one? Okay. All right, we'll call the question then. Ask members to vote your devices.
Voting is open.
Yes.
Voting is closed. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you very much. You guys have a nice evening.
All right, next item on the agenda is to refer to our policy committee, policies JCDB, student dress code, JCDA, student code of conduct, JD, discipline, and JDD, suspension, related to suspension. Motion is to refer these to the policy committee. We're doing this a little bit earlier than we have in the past because last year when we started this process late. It caused some problems to where we didn't get a final resolution on the dress code and other issues until late into, I guess the new school year had started. So the hope is that we can start this discussion about next year's dress code and discipline policies early enough and get a resolution in plenty of time to get the student handbook published and ready, and parents will know well in advance what the dress code is going to be into the school year. In addition to referring the policies for formal consideration for revisions to the policy committee, I'm also going to be referring to our strategic vision and planning committee a larger question asking that that committee consider whether we want to make major changes to our student dress code, specifically abandoning the requirement for school uniforms at the high school level and instead adopting a student dress code similar to the code in St. Tammany, where there are requirements related to what can be worn at high school, but not necessarily specific uniform requirements. Our hope, again, is to have an opportunity to gather input on this larger question, have a full discussion well in advance of the next school year, and give people lots of time to voice what they would like for us to do going forward. And Mr. Piazza is going to lead that discussion in the Strategic Vision and Planning Committee. All right, so again, the motion at this time, though, is to refer to Policy Committee those policies. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion is made by Mr. Piazza. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Richards. Any discussion on the motion?
So we're happy to see it come back up.
Yep.
Oh, we love, this is our favorite discussion of the year.
Great thing.
All right, any other discussion? I don't have any public input on this agenda item.
But we will.
We will.
Yeah, we will.
Thank you for putting that one on me, buddy. Appreciate
All right. That's how you know you're my favorite. All right, we'll call the question then on the motion and ask members to vote your devices.
Voting is open.
Yes. And then my second favorite, Mr. Westmoreland, the chairman of the policy committee, will get a crack at it too.
Voting is closed. Motion passes unanimously.
All right, next on our agenda is superintendent's reports and recommendations. Ms. Stillett. You didn't, where'd your mic go?
I had it from earlier.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, Mr. President. Under the superintendent's report, tonight we'd ask you to consider, the board to consider approval of 2024 National School Counseling Week proclamation. This week is really a National School Counseling Week, and so we would ask the board to adopt the proclamation, and I think Ms. Cindy has it up on the board behind us. Just to give you a few stats while we're looking at that, I received an email from Ms. Brandy Gonzalez, who oversees our pre-K through 8th grade counselors, and as you may recall, that the board approved a budget this year to increase our school counselors in our schools. So where in many of our schools, counselors would share schools. They would maybe try to cover 2 different schools. We've increased those numbers now. But this year alone, just this school year, our counselors have made over 11,000 contacts, individual contacts with students. They've made over 2,300 consults with teachers and administrators to assist them with struggling students. They've assessed and responded to 248 students who were suicidal, and they have assessed and responded to 164 students who have made threats that are safety to others. So we want to thank our counselors today. We had a lunch for them that was sponsored by the Tangi Parish Chamber of Commerce, Olive Garden, Berrytown, and Chapapita Sports Park. So we want to thank them for donations today so that we can honor our counselors across the parish. So I wanted to do that. Would you like me, Mr. President, to read the resolution? Okay. So, National School Counseling Week proclamation. Whereas school counselors are employed in public and private schools to help students reach their full potential, and whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents, as these traits relate to career awareness, development, and whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth of their children, and whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves, and whereas school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that can enhance and complement comprehensive school counseling programs and help students become productive members of our society, and whereas comprehensive developmental school counseling programs are considered an integral part of the educational process that enables all students to achieve success in school. Therefore, I, Melissa M. Stilley, Superintendent, do hereby proclaim February 5th through the 9th, 2024 as National School Counseling Week. And just to name a few things that you can do to honor your counselors at your school, posters. Our students can make posters for appreciation for them and hang them around the campus. Just simple little note cards and thank you cards to them for taking care of the well-being of our students. Treats or snacks, giving them a special parking spot for the week, handwritten cards, and any kind of flowers or just simple things to thank our counselors. They go above and beyond every single day for our students, so hats off to them.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution as the proclamation? Motion is made by Mr. Toller. Ms. Richards, second. Any discussion on the motion? There's been no requested public input on the motion. With that, we'll call the question. Ask members to vote your devices.
Voting is open.
Yes.
Voting is closed. Motion passes unanimously.
Are there any general updates, Ms. Dillon?
Yes, Mr. President. So general updates. One is, of course, next week our schools will be closed for Mardi Gras holiday. The second thing I wanted to mention is our Crew of Champions Parade has been rescheduled to March the 2nd. It will be an A-meet, roll down Highway 16 there, Main Street, but it will be at 2 o'clock instead of 12 o'clock. And then the third thing I wanted to mention is that we will be pushing out strategic planning community meetings that we'll be hosting in all of our 7 high school feeder patterns starting after Mardi Gras holiday and into the second week of March. So in each of our areas, for instance, Kentwood, Amite, Sumner, Independence, Ponchatoula, Laranja, all of the areas will host community meetings to seek input from the community on our next 5-year strategic plan. So we encourage the public to come out and participate in those meetings. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Stilley. All right, next item on the agenda is personal privilege or board member comments. As we are at Hammond High School, we're going to recognize our Ponchatoula members last.
Can we, amen.
And we'll start with what?
I was saying, can we move public input before?
I'll do public input before we move into executive session. But you wanted to do it before personal privilege?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, right? Well, I just didn't want to wait for,
Yeah, no, I am gonna move it up before we move into executive session. All right, Mr. Moore, you know, kick off the Hammond delegation? And, yeah, make sure we pass the mic.
Testing.
that's very good.
Okay, so, I first of all, I want to commend Mr. Cowles, doing an excellent job of setting up the occasion tonight. The presentation was awesome and very representative of the excellence that you have going on here. And then secondly, to the community, all of the members that came out tonight. I see my friend back there. But yes. And I see some other members in the community too. I'm glad. Good to see you guys coming out. And I want to do something that I do every time that I get the mic in my hand, and that is to encourage our teachers to try to be as much of a counselor for our children. Sometimes you might find yourself substituting for something that is being missed in the community or in the home. And just to give that consideration to every child that you have the opportunity to encounter on personal issues. And just know that I'm praying every day, and I know God is good. So I'm expecting better things from our school.
Mr. Westmoreland?
Well, I'm half and half, so what you want me to do?
You're mostly Hammond. You just have a little sliver of
All right,
we're counting.
I'm a little Hammond, Ponchatoula, the Tall Benny, all that area. Well, first I'd like to thank Principal Cowles for his hospitality and the robotics team for their demonstration earlier. Appreciate the update on that, and good luck this year with that. I'd also like to recognize the counselors in our district. They have a hard job of working with our children in the legal profession. Mr. Duncan and I see the counselors working with the children and helping them, and they do an excellent job, and we definitely appreciate that. And I hope our employees enjoy their Mardi Gras week off and be ready to hit it again, because before you don't know it, it'll be the end of school. Yeah.
Ms. Richards, there's a mic. You can hold it down there.
Let me just say one thing. I want to commend the young lady who did the, yes, that was an excellent rendition of the Pledge of the Allegiance and of National Anthem.
Okay. I'd just like to say tonight, I want to thank the counselors and just let you know that we do appreciate everything that you're doing for our children. And in these days and times, in all of the things that's going on in our communities, you're very, very necessary and very much needed. Also, Mr. Cowell, thank you, my friend, for hosting us. When we first had this idea, we were kind of back and forth of how it will work. But now I'm just excited about seeing all of the other schools and definitely coming up on the north end. So you've set the bar really high. So all of my principals, get ready, because we're ready to come and see you. I also want to recognize that February is also Black History Month, and good, and that I've been seeing a lot of the local people being honored. And I just want to say to you all, congratulations. It's well deserved, and we appreciate all of the things that you're doing in our communities and for our children. Thank you. Which way we going?
Mr. Anthony. He's the next least Ponchatoula.
No, I'm literally all Ponchatoula, but all right. No, that's good. I'm from Independence, though. I mean, so I'm like a Tangipahoa mutt, I guess.
Yeah.
But I did want to thank Mr. Kyles as well. Thank you for hosting us today. The robotics team, that's awesome. That's something that the public school has that the private schools don't, right? I mean, actually, it's just in Hammond with the STEM. Nevertheless, it's something we can offer to the students around the parish. Great job on the national anthem. Seriously, no music, just go up there and sing. That's incredible. So very good. I do want to remind anybody, probably nobody in this room is going except for some of us up here, but we're having our meeting with the St. Joseph School 8th graders at Ponchatoula High School on Thursday at 6. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to tell them what we have to offer in the public school setting. And specifically at Ponchatoula, I kind of suggested Brett may want to do that with the Holy Ghost kids because we have a lot to offer in this parish, especially at the high school level. We have the STEM program here. We have the Advanced College and Career Center where you can graduate with a certification. We have dual enrollment. You can finish your freshman year of college minus 1 hour, if I'm understanding correctly, at one of our high schools for free. So college tuition's expensive. So we want to make sure that we're getting as many kids as we can into the public school setting and making sure they take advantage of what we have to offer. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Mr. Piazza.
Oh, wow, very good.
He really was sticking it to you, Rose. You're last tonight. I'm sorry.
I do want to thank Rose for wearing purple today, though. I thought
That's
that
an
was very
accomplishment. I'm just going to say, I don't even know who picked that out for her, but it was not herself, I can tell you. It's probably Brett. First thing I want to say is, as Ms. Fisher said, it's Black History Month. Throughout our parish, we have some amazing programs at our schools that are honoring that tradition. If you get a chance to go out to some of these events, please do so. I've had the pleasure of doing a few at A Meet High, and it's amazing to see our students get excited. Mr. Kyles and your staff and students, thank you for all of what you've done tonight and the layout and all the involvement that we see with your students. It really does show how much love goes into our students here at Hammond High. Third is our strategic planning meetings that we're going to have in our local communities. Guys, I can't stress this enough of how important it is for you to attend those meetings and voice your concerns and what you want from your school system moving forward, because this board operates on what our community wants, what they deserve, and what our students need. And we don't know that unless our community comes and lets us know on a daily basis on what we need to get better at or what we're doing good at and need to just keep advancing. So, Ms. Stilley, thank you for putting together those meetings. I plan on attending those. So thank you for that. The last thing, did you have something?
No, I want you to thank them for doing school board.
Oh, I want to thank Natal Benny. Thank you for reminding me of that, for doing the school board appreciation meal. That was amazing for students to, one, we got to interact with them, and just for them to even think about us in that way, and the staff for putting together that meal. Thank you, because I almost forgot about that. Teachers, as we go into testing, I know that it's a stressful time. Just remember the importance of why we do it and what we're trying to achieve with our numbers. All that hard work you put in all year long, this is when we really need to hit the gas pedal and make sure that we're putting our best foot forward for these kids and getting that environment ready, making sure they're ready to test and that knowledge is there. And lastly, Mardi Gras break's coming up. As somebody who's had to deal with this before in the community, and I'm sure many of my other fellow board members, Mardi Gras is a very exciting time, but it's also a very dangerous time. Make sure when you're going to these parades or these events, be careful of your surrounding. To our young students who are going to be at these parades, don't do nothing foolish. Because you're very important, your futures are bright. Don't ruin it for one holiday. We've had to bury some amazing students throughout our parish for just things that are out of our control, and I want to make sure I have the platform that I'm making sure we talk about that. When you're at these parades, make sure you're being kind and considerate to others like we do here in the school, and get home safe, because I'm tired of having to deal with that and go to these funerals for people whose future were very bright and just made a bad decision. So thank you for my board members for all the advice tonight and all the things we achieved for, and I can't look forward to see where we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Rose finally gets the mic.
Ms. Dominguez.
Get the mic. He told me I was loud without the mic, so don't hold the mic too close to my voice, he said. So, thank you, Brett, for acknowledging the purple tonight. I see you have a nice purple tie. Mr. Kyles and your staff, thank you for setting this up. It's not easy to, put a meeting together off campus, so to speak. And for the guy in the back in the dealing with all of this tonight, thank you also for Action News. So we appreciate the young lady who came and sang for us. We would love to have you come back again.
Yes.
As Mr. Duncan said, and do something besides the national anthem. You have a beautiful voice, God-given talent. We're happy to have you tonight. And I was going to say about Natal Benny and the little 4-H club that fed us last week. It was so amazing, and the fried chicken was delicious, and the red beans.
The red beans.
And we appreciate being supported. And even though someone may have not given us a lunch, we know that you support us and appreciate us as board members. We do try to work hard to make good decisions across the parish for, what's best for everybody. It's hard to do that sometimes, but we try to work hard to do our best. And also thank you, Ms. Stilley, for setting up the strategic meetings. I think that's a good idea. We also need to include our community because I told Mr. McNeely this earlier, we can't do anything without our community. We have to have support as monetary and volunteering and everything because we can't do it without people helping us because it's a big system and a lot of students, and so we appreciate all the parents pitching in and always helping us. And with that, I'll wish everybody a great week off next week and happy Mardi Gras.
Mr. Toller.
Sound like a broken record, but Hammond, thank you. We appreciate your hospitality. I appreciate the board being willing to do these mobile school board meetings. Thank you, Mr. Duncan, for putting it into action. I know logistically there's a few pains. I know Ms. Jenkins has to set this up and then with our audio and video, but I believe it's worth it because we don't run the school system. We represent you and the ones that are here. We have more participation tonight at a school than we typically do at our central office. So we applaud y'all for coming. I'm looking forward to the public input tonight. So I hope that we will continue this, even though it is kind of painful setting this up and having to do it. But I think it's important for us to get out and actually be able to speak to some of the parents and to see our students and our facilities because it's such a big part of what we do. And then last but not least, the Parade of Champions. I did speak to Ms. Stilley about adding one thing this year, and I'm excited about it. We have a lot of high school seniors, juniors, and seniors that enlist in the military, either go to basic training after their junior year and come back and finish out their senior year, or commit early to the National Guard or to one of our services. And I'd like to honor them in the parade this year. So I'm hoping that the first float that we see is a military vehicle with all of those high schoolers in the back, that we can thank them for their commitment to service and service our community. So I think that'd be a neat thing to add this year and reward them for their commitment. So with that being said, thank y'all for hosting us.
All right. So I guess I need to start by acknowledging the fact that my wonderful wife is here with us this evening in the room. She is one of the many great educators that we have here at Hammond High School, and her being here is part of what makes it special for me to be here. Hopefully y'all got the sense from me tonight and from everybody here just how proud we are of all that we're doing here in Hammond and just the great things that are going on here. It's been a remarkable turnaround over the last decade or so, and the educators in Hammond have been the ones that have made it happen. But in addition to the great educators, we also got to celebrate the community of Hammond that has continued to support the great work being done in the Hammond schools through our local property tax and the fact that they renewed that. And so we're all very grateful for that as well. I want to thank the tech team and Ms. Jenkins for doing all the hard work to make this happen. We've already thanked Mr. Kyles. We thank him again. And again, just thank everybody for being here. I think it's been a great meeting. All right. Next, we're going to move up on our agenda the public input portion. The general public input. We've received requests from two members of the public to provide general input. And we'll start off with Ms. Gibbs, who wants to provide us some input on bus transportation. Before you start, Ms. Gibbs, I do want to make sure that because there's a lot of confusion when we do these general public input sessions about how they go. We are prohibited, or we're not allowed to respond to public input. I want to make sure that everybody understands that. We're not allowed to have a discussion or even act on what you provide public input, but that does not mean that we are not interested or that we're not going to act. We have to advertise ahead of time anything that we plan to vote on, right? So when we get general public input, our process is that we take that, we ask the administration to follow up on it, and then oftentimes it does lead to us ultimately taking action. But I don't want anybody to think that we're being rude by not responding. So we have a microphone for you, Ms. Gibbs, and if you need. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we would.
Do you need your hands?
Do you want to use the
clip if you want?
The clip?
Would you rather that one?
This fine.
Okay. There's a mic already on the podium here? Okay. All right, you got 5 minutes, and if you need more time, let me know. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Go ahead, Ms. Gibbs.
Okay, my name is Michelle Gibbs. I'm a retired bus driver, actually from Livingston Parish. I don't have a dog in this hunt at all. I don't have a child that goes to Tangi Schools, but I have 100 and something kids that do because I manage a mobile home park off of Airport Road. I currently manage it. It's located at 18325 Miller Lane in Hammond, where we have 132 homes.
Wait, he put it down. You're blocking the camera.
No, I'm saying turn around so I can see it.
Oh, or turn it around. All right, we're going to start Ms. Gibbs' clock over. Go ahead, Ms. Gibbs.
Okay. You can show up almost any morning and find me standing outside at our bus stop with the lower elementary kids, making sure that they're loading on our bus safely. I do not know but one of you personally on the board, and they're not even the school board member in that area. I do not personally live in that community, but I'm representing every kid and every resident there. I hope as leaders in the community that you can look and see what I'm representing and speak eventually on our behalf. I brought with me a demonstration board showing several things, although it does not show it all, which that's what the board is there. Currently, we have 6 buses that pick up from our community. 3 of those bus drivers will not go down our road and pick up the children, but 3 do. We have supplied a 40-foot school bus area that the buses can back up in safely. We've done that at no cost to the school or school board. We've also provided covered bus stop areas for the kids at our cost and not y'all's. This is right outside of our school gate, our park gate. You will also see that our community has individual addresses. It is not one address for the whole park. They are 911 designated addresses at each home. We have several roads inside of our park. It's 132 homes. It's just like any subdivision inside the parish. It is a gated community, but the gate is open for 2 hours every morning and 2 hours every evening to let the kids walk in and out of the park. We're not asking that the buses come inside the park, but that they do come down Miller Lane to pick up the kids at the covered bus stop. 3 do with no problem. 3 will not. They make those kids walk all the way from the back of the park, which is 3/10 of a mile, to the entrance of our park, then another 2/10 of a mile to the Airport Road. They're asking our kids to do that in the rain, in the sleet, and whatever weather conditions it causes. Also, if you look at the entrance of Miller Lane and Airport Road, there are no shoulders on the road for the kids to stand on. This is at an intersection. And according to the bylaws and the policies set forth in your policies from the Tangi Parish School Board, they're not supposed to be standing on any roadway that does not have a shoulder. They're also not, buses are not supposed to be letting kids off at an intersection. This is a major highway turning into an intersection. I took a picture this morning of where I could not even turn in our road because the road was blocked because kids were waiting for the bus, and it wasn't but a set of high school kids of 11 kids, and the cars had it blocked coming out of Miller Lane, and I couldn't even turn in. It's unsafe for the kids. We have one bus that picks up 51 elementary students. That one bus, that's just one of the 6. I spoke recently to the transportation department. They're wanting all buses to start picking up on Airport Road. Can you imagine 51 lower elementary students standing at the corner of Airport Road and Miller Lane, where there's no shoulders and no way for them to get out of the way of traffic? It's unsafe for our kids. We've provided a safe turnaround for the buses. We've provided a covered bus stop and a safe way for them to go. According to school board policies, as long as we have provided all this for the buses, all buses, no matter where they're from, should come down that road and pick up those kids. I fight for everyone in my park, everyone in my community. Like I said, I don't live there. I don't have any kids there. Every one of those kids belong to me. I stand out there every morning. I've been hit by an Uber driver. I have been hit by a delivery truck, making sure that I pushed a kid out of the way. But I make sure all my kids are safe. And I want to make sure that they stay safe. And I ask that y'all do the same thing and stand up for my kids. And make sure, because I was told, which you will see in one of the papers that I sent you, that either all buses or no buses will come down that road. We have too many kids with 132 homes for them buses not to come down there when we have provided adequate resources for them to come. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbs. Ms. Gibbs, the number that you have listed as this office number, is that a cell number?
That's my office and cell, yes, sir.
So it's a cell number too?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Ms. Gibbs. Next public input I have is from Mr. Ryan Rivers. At the back of the email.
I don't know if I should use this. I don't think I need it.
He needs it to be able, he needs it so that he can get it on the camera, Mr. Rivers.
Well, it's kind of hard to follow that. You see the passion. You see that she's after young kids, vulnerable and weak. Kind of like Mr. Moore said, we should strive for excellence because we're not dealing with corporations. We're not dealing with politics. We're dealing with kids. And I think a lot of you looked across faces, I think everybody felt a little bit of that. But how long do we feel it for? Do we feel it just for that second? Because everybody felt it. If you didn't, you don't need to be up here, you don't need to be here. But how long will you feel it for? See, I've been deciding, and before I start, if I may ask respectfully for a few more minutes, just because I can.
Yeah, we'll get you, once we get to the...
It shouldn't be that long.
Go ahead.
But it's kind of hard to go after that. But I've had people I have talked to before I came here tonight. We actually came here a couple months ago. We represent an organization called SWAG. We asked the school board. I handed out some flyers. I don't know if y'all remember that. I'm not going to reiterate what we do, but we asked for input from the school board and the school board members to tell us what we need to do to help influence and help mentor some of these young people that we're having issues with. Some of the positive things we've seen here tonight was the Hammond High students. I've been here with Brother Dr. Hatcher, Jerry Moore, Mr. Piazza, been to other schools. And you, as the kids walk by, you've seen kids with happy faces, you can't see kids with sad faces. And a lot of these kids are coming to these schools because they're looking for somebody, because they don't have somebody at home. And I know when I was growing up, and I grew up here, I was actually born at Liley Kemp Medical Center, so all of my education was done here in Hanlon, from Independence, or from Midway to the Talbany to Neeson to Independence High to Southeastern. So for me to sit here and go, I'm not part of this, I'm all part of this. And that's the reason I'm here tonight. We still have not got any input on swag. If we all want to say no, or you want to say, come talk to us some more and let us know what we can do to help you, or what we can do to help y'all. I think I got a question for everyone here. Why? Why are you here? Why am I here? You ever sit down and think, why are we here? When it comes to school with children, are we here for as teachers and coaches and administrators for 30 years and that plus 3? Are we here as school board members for that 4 years because we're buying for the next 4 years? Are we here to help the weak, the vulnerable, or the less fortunate? Are teachers here to educate, build, mentor? Are principals here to lead, shape, or teach accountability? Are coaches here to mentor, mold, and empower young men? Us as parents, are we here to teach our children respect, how to grow, how to be young men and women? When did the vulnerable, the weak, and the underdogs become a problem? When did standing up for what you thought was right become unpopular? When did wrong become easier? See, it's been like that for years. We will fight this to the end. When do we strive for excellence? Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Do I fall short of God's glory every day? Yes, I do. But I ask Him for forgiveness and I try to get better. When did it become popular to hurt a child because another adult might have an agenda? When did it become popular to have cover-ups? When did it become popular when accountability is nowhere to be found? Because see, if we sit here and think that everything we're doing is right, then we're doing something wrong. If we sit here and think that we're not striving for excellence, then what are we doing here? Are we sitting here just to make friends? Are we sitting here to be popular? Are we sitting here for the next step? Or are we sitting here to mold and help young men and women? I was asked, why are you doing this? People don't like when people talk about change. Do we need change? Do we need a cultural revamp in our communities? Absolutely. And if you don't think we do, then you don't need to be here. We just had an issue in Laranja where, and some of the board members and probably some of our school board officials, we had a new baseball coach come onto our program. And there's a few things I want to talk about, but that's the first one, just because I had parents reach out to me, and I was asked to be the, and I've had some teachers reach out to me too, and I know y'all heard this before, and I'm not the only one to hear it. We're scared to come and talk because we're scared about our jobs, and not one board member up here can't sit and say they've never heard that. If they did, they hadn't been out in the public. You've had parents say, I don't want to come talk, but I'm scared the coach or the administrator may take it out on my child. When they email a school board representative or email a school board employee or a principal, we get answers like, I think it was wrong, but what do we do about it? Or, I don't know if that really happened, but let me find out. And then you don't get a response to an email. So we had a new coach. The reason they said they cut the children is because they didn't have enough coaches for the amount of children on the team. So these children had already raised money. Some of these children have raised money to help support the baseball program. You actually had a parent that saved your school board thousands of dollars by redoing the floor in the field house at Laranja. You had parents that was actually part of the booster club just anointed to the board. The kids get cut. And what we found out was that they had too many kids. But just last week, they allowed another kid to become a part of that baseball team. So why these parents that did all this work and did all this stuff and all the kids that tried out twice, why would they allow another kid to be a part of a baseball team when they said the reason they had a tryout is because he had too many children? Now, I was talking to one of these parents a couple of days ago. My child was cut. Now, the reason my child was cut is probably because I'm standing here. And because I stand here, not for me, not for my kids. See, my son, spiritually, mentally, and physically, is probably stronger than me. And I hate to say this, even you, Trent,
than all of us. And I'm not worried about him. And that parent said, I'm not worried about my son, even though we saved the school board thousands of dollars. What I'm worried about is that vulnerable one or that weak one that don't have strong parents. They don't have somebody to go home to and cry on their shoulders. Or somebody say it's going to be okay. Because we have, especially in our community, and like I said, I'm a Independence guy. I'm kind of a mutt too. I'm from Independence. La Ronge is where I live. But what do we do when somebody's searching out for help and all we get is answers of, we don't have a policy, or it was wrong, but what can we do about it? What do we do about that? When you have a teacher that comes to you and asks you a question or tells you, they call you and say, could you tell them? I will, but if I'm the only one up here telling, they think even you that they elected, they're scared to talk to. And even if they do talk to some of you, they feel like it goes nowhere. I'm so happy we having public events here in the next future in our areas. I hope some of those teachers and parents will step up and voice some of the concerns that they have. I think some of these questions need to be answered, and I hope, I don't see anybody writing, but I know you can go back and watch it. Why do these things happen? Why are kids bullied? And it takes 6 months to figure out who did what wrong. And to find out along the way that administrators and leaders have lied. I don't have no easier way to say it. What do we do? Where's the integrity? Where's the accountability? Mr. Moore, you said we should strive for excellence. Where's the excellence? Where are we striving? Where is human decency? This may be not popular for me to be up here, and that's okay. Because in my house, and the people I'm around, we're going to go for that. And if we're not popular, that's okay. But ask yourself why. Write it down. Email it to me. I'll give you my statement on why I'm here. And let's figure out what we need to do to make Tangible Parish the best, not just okay. It's going to be tough. Wrong is easy and right is hard. But what we need to do and what we're going to do and what we talk about, how about some action? Because votes are great, popularity is also to some people, but change is what we need. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rivers.
Thank you.
All right. Finally, we'll move on to the litigation portion of our agenda. And at this time, I'll accept a motion to enter into executive session to consider the cases of Harris versus Tangible Parish School System and Walters versus Tangible Parish School Board. Is there a motion is made by Mr. Westmoreland. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Piazza. Hearing no objection, now we'll enter executive session at this time.
Channel 17, proudly serving the Florida parishes.
We'll call us back into regular session on the matter of Harris versus Tangible Parish School System. There is no action. On the matter of Walters versus Tangible Parish School System, I'll receive a motion at this time to adopt council's recommendation. The motion is made by Mr. Westmoreland, seconded by Mr. Piazza. No discussion. Is there any objection on the motion? Without objection, the motion is agreed to. And there being no other business to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned.